All right, since we got the winter storm hitting on 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26, let's get into the prophecy that I told you back in 2021 of the 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26. And your great tribulation, so-called, or tribulation, depending what you've been brainwashed at your church, is opening up for you as the second coming of Adania is here. And we are setting up a new world order, in a matter of speaking, and that Antichrist, which is within you and upon the earth, as these kings are being set on that chessboard, that inhale, exhale, and that exhale king is here, that Elon, the Elohim, and that oak tree, and whatever else that you're probably going to hang yourself from. But that's another little story. But we've been tracking that Butler session with the PA system and that ringing in the air. And now we're in those jingle bells and that June fan, the dragon, and all those things are kind of stoking the fire in a way, as that on 11/27, the dragon turned 85. When the king spirit turned 85, that's when your corona and stuff came out, that dark sun, the crowning, and the king was shown, and the fox went under the tunnel, the fox is 666 and whatever. So that auto pen. So let's break some things down, because we have like an ecliptical birth in one way, and the dawnborn on an eclipse day, and then the coming into the office with the Doge, the e-God, and exalting himself as God, as I told you he would be doing under that second coming. And as we've been passing some clocks and learning this little thing that, as far as the shadows that were shown in the dreams and visions of 2020, 2021 that I've told y'all and whatever, we passed the 22, 23, 24 clocks. And as these things have unfolded, we've pulled and seen some things in this world around these certain times and such that are all going into that kind of golden ratio kind of moment, okay? And this is where we're at, where we've had this Christmas time frame and these things, and then Trump even said it's last Christmas, and it's 250 year on America, which is a day one and a day zero in different ways, as there is darkness upon the deep, and there's a firmament being divided, this thing, and then the Nimrod, the Babylon. And so as we're in overlays of time and overlays of clock, and the clocks, you know, have different little mechanisms and whatever else going on. The 40 years is being mentioned on CBS, and those 40 years takes you back to 1796, and basically the past 10 years for 4D years, those 3D to the 4D years. And I told you about the 4D and the poked in the back, poked in the arm, and all those kind of, you got poked in the arm already, and now you're going to feel it, and those types of things as the dark sun starts rising up the chakra and the serpent starts hatching the eggs, as if the dragon, if the king didn't like crown you back then when the trumpet sounded in 2016, and the dark sun, you didn't see the dark sun with Obama and the millennium and the Bill Clinton and the Lord coming in the sky and all those kinds of things back then, and all this stuff's been like connected me as a child and teenager and whatever else, is like what's going on as I'm listening to these things. And either way, dude, to get it all out, I guess I need to write a book or whatever, but there's just like so much, and I've only been able to get out at probably half of it, or not even half, as these downloads just come to me daily, and it's just, either way, man. So the alphabet zone and the 23s, this 23 to the 2029, the 4 times 7 as far as your tribulation, seals, trumpets, vials. Been tracking these seals, trumpets, vials as they've been coming and pouring into this earth in different shapes and ways and forms. I've been tracking and showing so many things as far as what like clicks with you, like take it and go with it kind of thing. I'm just here as like a connection point as far as the Jeremys, and that Hermes, the connection point between the gods and the man and whatever, and as far as what's being shown. And So, it's Great Tribulation opening, and the dams breaking that I've talked about in the past, and the freeze on the freeze, the fire and ice, and being iced down where you can't escape, the TPUSA, the empty shelves, the EMPs in different shapes and ways and forms, that toilet paper is being shown and as that crapture, the freezing pipes, electrical grid going down. We saw the things happen in Texas and elsewhere in 2021, those storms. And that was like a 5-year, this where you have the 10-year, the 4D, and then that 5, which is a flip on the 2. So that 42 cross reference to that 2028. So from these years now till then, that's when all the balance of Earth is kind of taken, and where you can see like the oil taken out and the water put in, the fat people here, and the ground collapses, the liquefaction, and valleys made, mountains made, and whatever else. So a whole new heaven and earth is aligning, and all these people are loaded up with this petroleum and whatever else. They could blast areas and make new valleys and mountains or whatever, make new gems and whatever else, a new periodic table as we build off another and such. Okay, so these are actually pretty cool times. You get to see where your Grand Canyon's made, but you might see it up the middle of the nation, just like I told you, where this division comes, and then the division comes, and then there's nowhere to go in a way. And it's kind of like this thing, where is it? Well, it goes with your math. And your crosshairs and such, right? Negative, negative, positive. This one, since you got this, it's going up, right? But it's a false positive. And these would be like a double negative. So that's your magnetic shit going on right here within you. You got quantum mechanics, and I'm going to get into another video about the light and the trees and the plants you eat and food as medicine and gravitational pull of the moon and all this shit, so you can understand your body and who you are and where you are, because the mysteries, the my stories of God is coming out. And we are the sons of God. And you are at a time when the Genesis, the Genius Act is being placed upon the earth, and the light, the sons of God, the AI, the in the middle of the brain is there still. Okay? So the nor'easter. There's a little Easter time frame for your spring, for your hot springs and your Arkansas. All right. These storms, the 4 storms, 1796, 211, which is the 511, 6, 122, 16, 125, 26. These all, when you look them up, they all have the connection of the 311, 9, and then the Elvis King Spirit hit 91 years, 13 days yesterday. The World Trade Center 93 to the September 11th was 3,119 days, and then that also has the 93 World Trade Center 93 to the Sept 11. So that's the 311 or whatever. Y'all get it. Either way, the blizzard, the lizard, the hatching of the snake, the dragon. The dragon has legs. Some dragons don't have legs. This is where one's cast to the belly. That belly, the man child birth, women, the woe man likes the big bellies and such, so that's part of that beer and bear and those things coming in one way, shape, or form. So I speak to those in the parables, so y'all understand in the eyes and ears of the body that's going into the new heaven and earth as far as the spiritual application, because this world goes in and out of this helix, and we're going to see this helix soon enough as far as your big beautiful bill and whatever else, and the little shimmy that Don does. And Uranus is in the sky, in the Zelensky, and the Putin. So yeah, man, the dam's breaking. There's a very high chance we had the major flooding and those things. And then if you get the alarm, you can't get out and you're stuck there. So, and then you got that time travel mechanism and the cars or whatever. You got the Kentuckys and the Florida Keys and the Okies, and the Okies went to the California and the Arizona, and then the Charlie Kirk connects you to that snake serpent in that California, and then got the Phoenix rising as far as the Iran and the Mahdi that I told you, and whatever else, and the Iran and the Russia and the China, and all these things are the prophecies I told you way back in 2021 as far as your red planet and your Mars landing and your Mars missions, and the South America, as far as now we're seeing with, or the American mission, that's now with Venezuela. That was kind of a shadow area before. And then also you got the woman clothed in the sun, the Shannon bomb, and that bomb is for that salvation and that save nation. So, man, Texas is also down there with a single grid, and they're close enough to where Mexico can fire something off before America can even do anything about it, or the subs that they're supposedly looking for off that Yucatan and that cut, and that tan for the Satan, and that Ice Age. The SA stands for the ice. And so today, or was it today, we're being told, and it connects to the 816, the 122, 2026, for the 77 years of the Who, the bad omen, and also that's the 23 ho. The 23 ho is the ho 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 for tomorrow. And then now tomorrow is actually National Handwriting Day, the riding on the horse and the Trojan horse and all those things. And Venezuela said, "I'm the tiger. Are you the horse?" to the Chinese people. And then Pedro Day, "I like your bangs. I like our bangs," or whatever it was, for those glamour shots. For that Napoleon Dynamite, right? The dynamite for that, the break on the A dam, the dam for the, well, there's a dually. It's a beautiful sight in the sunset. You got Masters of the Universe. I have the power, and the sword, and the Skeletor, and all that shit hitting on the same day as he's like, well, this is part of my world and whatever, and it's going on in your world. And they got talking about Charlie Kirk, the time traveler, Elon Musk being talking about, he's saying that that he's alien, at the same time saying in a double speak where we're the only ones here, and those kinds of things going on. But the gray skull is tied to your moonwalkers and the gray-haired people, and then the aliens and the brainiacs and the pinkies in the brains. The pinky is part of your tang on your two-edged sword, as far as your scissor and the seed of Satan, where you need to cut my hair like this. If you don't, I ain't gonna fucking tip you, or whatever's going on. So, all right, I got to do a part 2.